Welcome back to the Games Revealed podcast. I am James and also the Brink.
And I am Suzie.
And also the Brink, kind of, in last name alone.
Last name alone.
You just don't spell it cool like me.
No.
With the 3 instead of an E.
No. Should we get our marriage license changed?
Okay, guys. At 1 million subs, we will change our last name to TH3BRAK. Or we can change the Games Revealed.
Can you imagine our headstone when we die?
Dude, it'd
the TH3 Brinkerhoffs.
It's going to be lit. That's all I know. All I know is it's going to be lit. It's going to be an awesome tombstone. We are going to have lived like, I don't know, some famous couple. I don't know of any famous couples these days.
The Brinkinator, the Susaninator, the Brinkerhoffs.
I was going to say something like Kanye West and Kardashian, but I don't think that ended well. I don't think.
No, Kanye just got himself a Kim Kardashian lookalike, so.
Yeah, he cloned that. So don't leave residue anywhere else. You're going to be cloned just like Kim Kardashian. Okay, so back onto video games and not reality or whatever reality is nowadays. Today's topic, we're going to dive into today's topic in 2 seconds. I've been playing Starfield. Really like it. Have you been playing anything?
No.
Because you've been wanting to play Starfield with me.
Exactly.
You've been taking...
I'm taking a mild hiatus.
Because you played so much.
I played so much Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may not have still beaten it.
Yeah. It's
yeah. But anyways, yeah, I took a break. I'm just got to do some dishes here and there and some laundry and get kids to school. So.
I feel that. I did that with Persona 5. I took a break because I put 50 hours in like a week on that a couple of months ago, and I need to get back into it. Starfield's starting to get there too. Starfield, I have just a measly 30 hours, and so it's nothing big.
But I mean, to be fair, I feel like that 30 hours has come in a much shorter period of time than Phasmophobia's 50.
Phasmophobia?
Not sorry, we were just talking about Phasmophobia, but Persona 5. The ghost
infected her face, her head. Yes.
No, they both start with P.
Well, they don't sound like they start with a P. Okay. Phas, Persona. Okay, so besides the stupid English language, let's get on to something that's not stupid, and that is doing stuff together. We do things together all the time. We talk, we eat, we sometimes walk the kids.
Yeah, very important.
Yes, sometimes, just do a couple of things. We do a lot of things together, but the thing that we love doing the most, probably, and what formed our relationship in the beginning, was co-op games, and namely games that are like 4-player typically, but we've been playing them as 2-player.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them can be played with 1 player, of course, but we're going to talk about a bunch of different games that kind of solidified our relationship. I know this should be like a a Valentine's Day episode. Maybe we'll revisit this in a more passionate form.
Time of year.
Yeah. No, but really though, and this can be related to the Steam Deck. All the games we're going to be talking about are amazing on the deck, and they play great there. So if you have friends that also have Steam Decks, you can go out into the forest, like I always talk about. I don't know why, but the forest is just so...
Go have yourself a little Steam Deck forest powwow,
I was thinking Seance or something like that. You stick your Steam Decks, all 4 of them, in a
pentagram, I
feel like you're going to need 5, but so you get 5 Steam Decks, put them in a pentagram. These games are not 5-player, though. I don't think any of the games we're going to talk about is 5-player. They're up to 4 players. But
the 5th is a substitute.
The 5th is just in case. Yeah. So, if one of them dies, or if you potentially get sick of one of the people you're playing with, which always happens, right? You can sub that other person in. You can kind of think of it being picked last. Eventually, maybe you'll be allowed in.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. So
Sounds like the worst form of dodgeball ever.
Yeah, I didn't play much dodgeball, so
You know, you
As a
line up
basketball person.
on sides and you're like, I want such and so on my team. I want such and so
Yeah.
on my team. And then you're just like, yeah, nobody wants loser Nancy to be on my team.
Well, you're gonna be sending in a pentagram, so you
Sorry
have
to anyone named Nancy, by the way.
cross-legged on the ground in the forest in a pentagram, hoping that you're gonna summon some good gameplay with your friends.
This is so elaborate.
It's very elaborate. Welcome to when we do a podcast together. So, yes, bar the fifth person who's going to be at the top of the star for some reason. Let's get into our picks. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about a couple of different games, a little bit more than like 2 or 3. So, a bunch of games, and then in the bonus level. If you have not done so, make sure to become a member of the YouTube channel or a member over at patreon.com/games revealed, and you'll get access to the bonus levels. So in the bonus level, we're going to be rating them and kind of giving our like professional like thought on everything.
So professional.
Yeah, the pros knows. So what we do know is that we love these games, even if some of them have not gotten the best care in the world. And I will say, let's start out with Back for Blood, and then we'll move down the list in a more orderly manner because I have a list right here.
Starting off some spicy.
Yeah, because I just mentioned that all these games I think have pretty good acclaim, except for this one, a little bit of another one, but this is the main one. Back for Blood is really good. It's actually people are not going to like this. I think it's better than Left 4 Dead 2, gameplay wise.
Yeah.
I'm
very curious as to why people don't like it so much. I know I've heard like a couple of things, though I can't pull it off the top of my head. But like for me, it's so I don't know. I guess I'm just not that picky. I don't know. I just felt like it was just more like you were just kind of getting more of Left 4 Dead. I know it's different in ways, but
you just offended everyone.
I know everybody's gonna get pissed
I know
off.
they're picky. They're picky. Everyone
because
here.
People just need to live and let live. I have my opinions. You can have your opinions. If
their opinions
like
say
it,
that your
okay.
opinions suck. No, I'm just kidding. So, guys, before you exit, Back for Blood does deserve, I think, being tried out. It is a good game. I think a lot of people went in with too much expectations of it being exactly like Left 4 Dead because it's the same developers as Left 4 Dead, where it was Turtle Beach, Turtle Rock, Turtle something that was at Valve, and then they broke off because Valve and games and all that. They just didn't think they were going to be able to make the next game that they wanted.
They have a phobia of the number 3.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Maybe that's why. But they came out with another game before this one, which I thought was really good, but it died off. They don't support it anymore. And then they went on to Back for Blood, which is an obvious reference to Left 4 Dead. So Left 4 Dead 1, 2, Back for Blood. And the problem with this game is that they didn't use quite the same color palette, and they didn't do quite the same style.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the big things that hurt it, is because people were expecting it to look very similar, to play similar, and to have similar quirkiness to it.
Okay.
And it's kind of lacking in that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I can definitely see that,
It takes itself a little too serious at times.
Yeah, I get that.
But at the same time, I'm fine with that. I think Back 4 Blood's a good game. I think the mechanics are much better than Left 4 Dead.
Right.
Like, when we go through Back 4 Blood, now we probably have more memories with Left 4 Dead, obviously, but we'll get into that in a second. Back 4 Blood, though, we have not finished the newest campaign releases. So there's chapter 1, 2, and 3. Is there 3 or 5 chapters in the original? I can't remember.
It's been so long, I don't
since remember. We finished those. Yeah. Even though I've played the first 2 chapters, like tons.
Yeah.
And each chapter has sections and whatnot in it. And so we finished the original game, and then I think there's 2 DLC drops of extra chapters. I think we beat one of them, and I think there's one more chapter we need to beat. So I think there's
Yeah.
technically 5 chapters. I think we beat the first 3, which was the original.
Mhm.
Of course, chat or wherever you're at, you're more than welcome to let us know if we're wrong, which there's a good chance we are. And
I mean, we record these late. It's not like our brains are at high functioning capacity.
it depends. Today is late. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning.
It's always
Somewhere.
3 a.m. in the morning.
Somewhere. Gotta have that nightcap. So with the Back for Bloods, it is missing, obviously something, but the progression system in it, if you have not played it yet, it plays so good on the Steam Deck. Even though I do prefer a keyboard and mouse, and I still tried it to go on there, play it on the keyboard and mouse as much as I can.
Right.
Picking that up on the Steam Deck or on a portable device is still a treat, even though, okay, it's a treat because I can get 60 frames per second on that game pretty easily. The problem lies in you have small radius, like what is it? Crosshairs. So it's a little harder to like aim down and shoot people. It just takes a little, it hurts some of the precision in that game, which can be very helpful because that game gets really hard in certain areas. It was designed to be, I feel like, much harder than Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
But what are your favorite parts of Back 4 Blood?
So the thing I like is that they've updated the fact that you can actually upgrade characters with the card system. I do enjoy that. I think that's a nice addition. I don't know.
It's such a weird one, but it works.
It is, but it does work.
Yeah.
Like I have my specific character, just kitted out for melee, and it's awesome. I mean, and I enjoy that. I don't know, for me, why I like Back 4 Blood, why I like Left 4 Dead, for me, it's the experience of playing co-op with other people, shooting zombies, trying to get to the safe room,
Yep.
And going through obstacles and having, freaking Goliath zombies coming at you at every angle. I don't know.
Goliath, yes, tall boys.
Yes, tall boys. Big boys. All the boys, coming in, hanging out. But for good. Me, that's why I play these games. And for me, it delivers that. I do agree, like maybe it's not as quirky, like the dialogue that the characters have with each other, I don't feel like is as snappy and as like, fun as it was in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's.
But again, like I'm there to play with friends and shoot zombies and that kind of a thing, and it delivers that for me.
Yeah, it's a hard one to say whether. It's just hard. It's hard to say.
I'm not saying it's better or worse. Yeah. It's just more. It's not. I don't feel like it takes away from. Left 4 Dead. It's just more.
That's the one thing I do get with people. Sometimes they like get something like this isn't as good as the original. Why would I just not play the original? I'm like, because it's more. Like the story's different, the level's different. And now if you don't mind just sitting there and playing the same thing over and 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 over again.
Yeah.
See how repetitive and boring that got with all those overs? Yeah. That's why it's nice to get new things. And I think people need to keep an open mind and maybe sometimes look for the good instead of going for the negative straight forward, first. Starfield's a great example. I think people have gone way too hard into like the negative. That's not negative. People are finding negatives where they don't really exist. And some people aren't going to like to hear that, but they really don't ruin any part of the game. For me in Starfield, that people are finding those negatives and that just ruins it for them. No reason. Doesn't hurt anyone.
I think we've kind of moved in society. Like, I don't know if it's instant gratification. I don't know, like, I don't know what exactly it is. It's just more or less like we have this tendency, like it either has to be S-class tier. It's got to be so good, mind blowing, like crazy experience, or it sucks. There's no like,
you know what?
It's good. I'll play it. I like it. Is it amazing? No. But,
Back 4 Blood, I think, is amazing.
Yeah.
Which, that's the thing. But for everyone, it's not going to be. I recognize, like, for me, and I think everyone has styles of games they like. Not everyone's a populist in the sense of, oh, I will only play the games that are the most popular or rated the highest. That's it. people tend to also have games that they just really do like. Let's say Call of Duties, for example. If you're a Call of Duty fiend, and every year they come out with a new Call of Duty, some of them are just not good. But if you're a Call of Duty fiend, most of them will like it. Even if they don't like it, they'll still usually end up playing it. It just depends. We're going to get maybe some differing opinions on that one one day.
And that's okay. You can have your opinion.
Comment, please.
Yeah, let's have a dialogue.
Be nice, though. Be nice.
As one of my favorite YouTubers, vlogging through history, says, you can disagree, but don't be disagreeable.
I'm pretty sure that's for me. I'm pretty sure I said that one time.
You probably did.
Well, today we found out that I'm not her favorite YouTuber. So,
well, I mean, you're always gonna be.
You're
you're your own special category.
Yeah, you're my favorite husband, is what you're gonna say to me.
Till I get an upgrade.
Out of 3, so I'm doing pretty good. So no. So. Yeah, Back 4 Blood has the progression system, the card system, which I do think I wish they would tweak it a little easier, because it is a little complicated when you don't play often. You're like, I have to go through all these cards, go all through these cards.
Agreed.
Like, how do they actually stack up? I'd like to see all the character stats being stacked up, but they're not. And
yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah, so Back 4 Blood really. It has a shooting range, which is really fun. You can join with all your friends, just mess around, punch each other, shoot, try out weapons.
Turn into zombies.
Exactly. And you can just, you can do so much in just the starting area. And then as you go through each of the levels, they feel very samey. And I think that's where some of the things people didn't like is that you go through it, the atmospheres feel similar. Like with Left 4 Dead, we had the circus. Which really, the carnival, whatever, circus, carnival, potato. All I know is there were zombie clowns, and so, and all I gotta say is F zombie clowns. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the rain level, all the levels felt different. They felt connected, but there's a purpose to each level. Where
that I can get on board with and definitely agree.
Back 4 Blood did something that they thought was right and is good design typically. They made everything feel very cohesive.
Right.
But the problem in that is that they all felt too cohesive. They all felt too similar. Even though I'm in a city in one, then a mine later, it felt too because you were following this whole thing. It just felt too similar. For some weird reason. I know it's when you actually sit down and think, you're like, no, Back 4 Blood had a lot of diverse levels, but they felt too similar. And they need to
you have the mall,
it.
you have I definitely get that argument, and I see the legitimacy there.
Yeah, but the gun system's so much better. The shooting is easier. It's more predictable. The finding guns, doing the meta in that game is so much more fun than Left 4 Dead. It's because we played so much Back 4 Blood. It's hard for me to go back to Left 4 Dead for that reason alone. Is that you get a couple of weapons in Left 4 Dead. Some of them are really cool. To get a couple Left 4 Dead's fun, but Back 4 Blood is so comprehensive. And so many different guns, so many different mods you need to swap out. You're always consistently looking for things to make your gun improve through your runs. That system needs to be backdated, it needs to be brought to Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, I think. It'd be cool to see a mod or something like that. But let's move on to Left 4 Dead 2 if you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
The game that started our relationship almost.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, story time, a little bit.
Story time.
Back 4 Blood is what solidified our marriage. Okay, it's not really, but because we've been married for a while and getting into Back 4 Blood. Left 4 Dead, though, I did something very brave. I'm a very brave person. We're no throwing me under the bus right now. We can do that later. I am brave right now. And what I did was when we first started dating, I was obsessed with this game, Left 4 Dead. I'm like, I play with my friends and all that.
Seriously, I don't know how many copies he has bought over his lifetime, but it's a lot.
It helps that Valve has discounts all the time on stuff. And so I'm like, it was $5. I think even back then it was like $5. So I bought a couple of them. And then friends that are like, okay, let's play this. And they're like, well, I don't have a copy. I'm like, well, you don't You don't
Here's
need to
the
have a copy.
You
Here
get
you
a
go.
copy.
You
You
get.
get a
I was
copy.
Oprah. I was the Oprah of Left 4 Dead, and I'm the Oprah of a bunch of different games. Half-Life 2. Honestly, almost anyone can ask me for a copy of Left 4 2, and I'll give you a copy of Left 4 Dead or of Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1, as those are need to. It's like handing out books that I think people need to consume.
Right.
It's like, here you go. Here's the Bible of James's life. Half-Life. This is going to change your life. And if it doesn't, you personally hate me, and just tell me that you like it. No, there are people that, and I respect that. Like, for me, there's a mix of nostalgia in there, but I love the Half-Lives. So, Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 are based off of the Half-Life series.
Right.
For the most part, meaning it's Valve. It's got some assets in there from the source engine from Half-Life 2. It's the source engine, obviously.
Right.
And there's a lot to it that's very similar. So obviously I was going to, and then there's Valve.
Right.
I was going to love Left 4 Dead. Zombies included. I love zombies. So people, you know that. It was the perfect storm. It got me just loving the co-op style. I just love it. Getting back into our story. So we start dating long distance.
Yes.
She lived in Canada.
Yes, I was his girlfriend in Canada.
Oh, is that how you pronounce that? No, I'm just kidding. People are going to be like, what? No, I was having fun. We long distance dated. It was like we were 4 hours. So we'd still meet up every few weeks. And in between weeks, we'd either be on the phone or we started. I can't remember how I talked you into playing Left 4 Dead.
I don't know. But like I was kind of going through like, but I think it was just like, yeah, I play games. I'll play a game with you, you know.
I'm sure I was like, I got the perfect game for you. This is the game of love. No, it's it does have a level that has the tunnel of love. It does. Left 4 Dead has that. So I got you a copy. I was like, just try it out. Let's just try it out. Get you playing. I think you were a little frustrated in the beginning. Yeah. As with most games.
I've never really played a game like that. Because maybe we'll get into it at some point, but like I have a long history of gaming. I just don't have a varied. It's not diverse.
Robust. It's not a
and so I never played like a first person shooter. And so for me, you know, it was really frustrating because you had played this game like a ton and you've been playing games for forever. And so it was like frustrated that like I felt like I was doing so poorly and I was dying all the time and you were having to like come save me all the time and I was just like, I suck.
And I was like, no, you don't. You're just learning.
Young Padawan.
That's how it is. So when you're first learning, have patience, especially if you have, let's say, if you have a significant other that you want to play games with you, have patience in the beginning. If you freak out at them, they're probably going to stop and you might not ever get them to play again. You got to have the patience. I was saying I had the patience back then. It's been so long. I don't even remember.
I think you were.
I'm sure I was fine. I'm sure I was fine.
No, I didn't stop. I didn't say like this relationship's over.
You didn't save me. I was hanging on the ledge because I was looking over and just wanted to see, and I fell. And you didn't save me.
You didn't save me.
You let me die. No, and then this is the thing that was interesting. Like, this is what clicked for Suzie, I think, and especially in the beginning. What was that? Like, what was your favorite part about Left 4 Dead when we first started?
Well, I think it was like, you know, new love, Twitter pated, like no, but I liked that we were helping each other and like
yes, that's it.
You know, so it was kind of like
it was a loaded question.
Yes,
I was looking for an answer.
I know you
were.
won. And you know, so for me, I'm like, oh look, you know, me and my boyfriend were just helping each other out. It's so cute.
Look, he's bleeding out over there. I got the med pack.
Exactly. I helped him. It's so good.
No, but I think everyone's died of cheese by now. Their arteries are clogged with all the cheesiness. But
just call me Cheese Whiz Suzie.
Oh, careful. You will be called Cheese Whiz. So Cheese Whiz. Because she's so cheesy. Which, you know what? I like cheese, so that's a good thing. So yeah, you really like the aspect of helping each other out. I had your bag, you had mine. I had a shoot to protect. You were like, I'm going to help repair. We even have matching mugs, or at least we used to. I think they broke.
They broke, yeah.
They broke, just like our hearts. And no, it's just once you have something long enough.
No, they like one was like his healer, her tank, his healer,
and it had the icons for like the med pack as opposed to,
I forget what was on the other one.
It's like, I think it was a shield. It was cute, but it was definitely something that it was fun, and we grew into it just like really enjoying, like, okay, we got each other's back, we're gonna get through this. And this is what got us through a bunch of different games. Like and now some of these games took us a very long time.
It's a great way to long distance date, because when you're long distance, you can't interact physically. So like having something more than just talking on the phone was really nice. And it's really nice to kind of play a game, see how the other person is responding to the game, and like,
we would talk on the phone while we played, obviously. Or I think that's how we did it. I think that's how we communicated.
We did it. We either did it on the phone, we did Google Hangout, or we did what's the original one? It started with an S, I think.
There was TeamSpeak.
No.
TeamSpeak was one that was back then.
Skype.
I don't remember using Skype.
Yeah, we didn't use that one a ton.
I don't think we probably used Hangouts, because Skype is like a virus.
We used Skype on occasion, but then we just stuck with Hangout after a while.
Well, we upgraded our relationship to Hangout. So we used Hangout, and then we would just sit there and talk about each other. We'd learn about each other. I think it's really important. If you do long distance relationships, you need to learn about people. And so it was a good way for us to have fun, go bowling per se with zombie heads and a shotgun. But we were able to bond over it, and it worked out really well for us. And so that holds a special place in our hearts with co-op games. Now, the next kind of series I would say that we started playing was Borderlands. And we skipped Borderlands 1 because I think Borderlands 1 is boring. There's a few diehards out there like that's their favorite one. And I don't think it added enough to the story. I don't know.
I think so. Borderlands 2 came out not long after we got married, and you played it. I think you played it on your own, or you either played it co-op with a friend.
Played on my own. Then I played it with a friend. And then played it with my other friend, Suzie.
There you go.
And so I got you playing it because you'd played back Left 4 Dead, and you're like, okay, well, let's play some more games. Let's do some more bonding and have some fun. To be
fair, like we there were other games that we had played before this. Like I think we went through the whole Lego Indiana Jones together.
That's not even on our list.
Nope, but that's a fun one, like the Lego ones. But we went through a couple of different games like that were simpler.
Some Mario ones too. So maybe it was after on some of the Marios.
But yeah, Borderlands was kind of the next big game that we went through.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Borderlands 2 is where we started. The story's so good, and the game was good. Finding weapons, you liked looting and shooting. You started to really like different aspects of this type of gaming. I think in this Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 2 was where you were really just enjoying the experience of like us playing together and murking zombs. But in Borderlands 2 is where you're like, okay, there's a story here. I can pick up weapons and collect things.
To be fair though, so we have this nice little habit when it comes to anything Borderlands related, that when we begin a game, we cannot finish it within under a year.
I know.
I
think Left 4 Dead might be an exception on that. But that's an easy one to get through.
The Borderlands series, like anything Borderlands
anything
related.
After the Left 4 Dead, I feel like we have not finished within a year.
It's a while.
We also have kids though.
And so I cannot tell you fully what Borderlands 2 is about. Like I know Handsome Jack and all that stuff, but it took us so long that it wasn't until we got towards the end that I'm like, oh, so this is what's going on.
Yeah, I do think you remember it more back then. Like, it's been a while. We'd have to go back through and play it again, which is going to be exciting. So Borderlands 2 is where your gun obsession came into when looting and shooting. I think you started to really get the micro aspects of it. Like, okay, I'm going to look at this gun, figure it out, sell what I need to sell, and get used to that.
I kept a level 9 gun way longer than I should have, but I loved that thing.
Oh, who doesn't? I mean, I had a gun that would speak obscenities to me. I loved it. So, what can I say? I'm a masochist. So.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, okay, so sadist over here likes Borderlands 3. No, I'm just kidding. You're like sadist man.
Yeah. Borderlands 3 versus Borderlands 2. Here's the debate. So to be fair, Borderlands 2, in my opinion, is the best of the series. Like, hands down. It's just the best. Borderlands 3 wasn't bad. I mean, if you like Borderlands, it's one that to play because it's just, again, it's more.
It's more
of of the world, you know.
Story continues. The story, I actually like the story in Borderlands 3, but I agree it's not as good as 2. And there's 2 reasons for that. The twins. So if you don't know, the bad guys in it are twins, and they're just like, they had to do the social media thing and make it like silly like that, and they're
like spoiled brat Gen Z, like influencers.
It just wasn't, the problem was it wasn't very intimidating. They made it sound like they were badasses when really they weren't that. They did have depth to them. But they just weren't good for multiple reasons. I didn't mind it too much, but I get why people didn't like that.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 just had a perfect story. It had loss, it had love, maybe. I can't remember. It also had the Necromancer, which is one of my favorite characters in any game, is the Necromancer. And because I'd played it 2 times before, I had played other characters. The Necromancer comes with a mech that can
just so OP.
It's OP. It will aggro a bunch of enemies. It's a tank. It will attack crazy like. It's got melee attacks. It's got a shock attack. And then I just sat back and used my multiple different guns. While you were ogling over 0 because you loved 0 so much until 3. And now you have to admit 3 has it has your favorite character in it.
Yes, it does. I love Zane. Zane is zany. He's got a little piece of my heart. He's a crazy Irishman
with a potty mouth.
And just
I don't know if that needs to be prefaced with an Irishman, but yeah, it's no. I honestly,
he's delightful. Honestly,
I love him too.
He oh my gosh, laughed so hard. He would say the funniest things. I love it.
He just made it fun.
Yeah,
he just made it exciting, fun, and everything. 0, like in the second one, you love 0 because he was sleek and didn't talk and he was brooding, but. I don't actually think he did talk. I can't remember. 0 talks.
0 talks a
little
much.
Bit. Yeah.
Just not like a ton.
So it was fun and all, but after a while, it does get a little annoying with 0.
Okay, here's one of my biggest issues with Borderlands 3. I'm gonna cut you off. Sorry. So Borderlands 3, I hate the weapons in Borderlands 3. Yeah. It is a heap of freaking garbage. I think they must have tripled, quadrupled the amount of weapons you can get in that game. And the diamonds in the rough are very few and far between because you end up with a lot of just junk that litters your inventory. I mean, you get a lot of money for them, but after a while, you're just like, I don't care. Just give me something good. Now, that being said, when you do find something really good, it's so cool. Like, I had this one weapon that would send out electrical charges and it would electrocute in a localized area. It was great for long distance attacks. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Could take out a couple of enemies at a time. Great. That was very rare to find.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, here's the thing. I wish there was less guns and more easier to find. I shouldn't say easier to find rare. It's just I had to go through a bunch of guns to just find good ones. Mm-hmm. And it was getting tired. I'd rather have okay, let's come across a couple of okay ones and then have, this epic chest right here I'm opening up is going to have an epic gun in it.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case. A lot of the epic chests and stuff were kind of garbage, actually.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so the looting system when that was kind of broken. Plus, they had to have more guns, and the trope was fun in Borderlands 2 because that's Borderlands 2 had like a trope with that.
Right.
3 just went. They had to go do more. They didn't have to, but that's usually what it is. They do more, and it just made it so it wasn't as fun.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And looting in this game is half the fun, and it just got really boring. So I was there for the characters. I was there for a couple other things, and honestly, they have some pretty good DLCs. I think. It took us forever to get through Love, Guns, and Tentacles.
I again can't get through Borderlands quickly.
I do like my tenties though.
Yes,
so it sounds.
I need to get you birthday, Christmas. I'm getting you a T-shirt with tentacles, and it says "I love my tenties."
I thought you were gonna give me real tentacles to dive in. You're like, wait, what? I'm just kidding.
I guess I'm off to the seafood store to get octopus tentacles and put them in the bathtub.
I'd make calamari. No. Yeah, keep it fresh because I'm going to be making some food out of that.
I mean, calamari sounds delicious, but
Yeah, it does. So, making calamari all the time. Borderlands 3 with all the shooting I did. It takes us a little while because we get going, then we get burnt out, and those games I do almost everything, so we do everything.
He's such a completionist. That's another reason I don't remember Borderlands 2 storyline. It was like,
what's this?
Yeah, we'd go over here. And I don't know what's going on because I haven't played a game like this.
And you're lagging behind. Like, I'm looking at this gun. I'm like, okay, stop looking at this gun. We're talking now. Oh, we're in a gunfire. I'm all the way back at this.
He's like, here, I'm going to spend 30 minutes optimizing what I have. Oh, you took 2 minutes to look through your inventory. Well, bye. You can just find me later.
I'll take things that had never happened for 200. And so, okay. No, it wasn't. It was a little exaggerated on her part. So Borderlands 2, 3, great games. We loved them. Amazing games. Honestly, we'll get into the rating system. We'll get into like our favorites and stuff like that in the bonus level. Yeah. Let's move on to the next item, which is Gunfire Reborn. This is a newer one on our list. It's one that we've played probably 15, 20 hours worth of. Nothing like to write home about on the time played, but it's a fun game.
It's definitely one that it was kind of one of the first to pick up on Steam Deck.
Yeah. It was the first one where I on the Steam Deck played unplugged for probably like 4 hours. I think we played it for 4 hours. It goes really long on that. Like, I think maybe it was 3 hours. It's probably more like 3 hours, and I still had like 40% of my battery or something ridiculous. Where I was like, this game, you want a game that plays really long on the Steam Deck? Gunfire Reborn is it, and it still looks good. It's a cartoon-esque one that is like
3D animation.
It's like Borderlands meets a procedurally generated what's another game that would be similar to it? But essentially what it happens is that when you die from your run, because they do runs based stuff, kind of like Returnal, is that you start at the beginning, you have a bunch of abilities and stuff that you can keep on buying and improving your character, and you run through the beginning through those same levels that are like generated slightly different. This is the problem with this game. So we would get to like area 3 or 4, and that's about as far as we'd get every time, because then we'd take our time and play it again, and we weren't as good when we played it again a couple months later, and it's just it just doesn't work very well for our lifestyle of playing these types of games. And so I can't tell you, like, I don't want to play the same level over and over again to try to get to new content.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is definitely a downside with this game, but that being said, like, it's still fun. Like, it's a really good one to just pick up and play either by yourself or with, a group of people.
What do you like about it?
I think for me, again, it's just kind of a simple shooter.
It's a simple, it is.
And honestly, it's one of those games that it's not complicated. You pick it up, you go
pew pew. You have two abilities, I think, essentially, and
so if you're like, if you have it, your friend has it, you can go play a couple of rounds, and have fun, and it's not an investment.
Yeah.
And so, like, is it the most amazing game ever? No, but it kind of serves that purpose.
No, it's a really good in-betweener game. So if you don't want to get too serious, like Borderlands, you kind of got to commit. But you don't want to go that route, but you want something that's more simple than a Castle Crashers kind of thing, which we're going to get into a second. I gave a little sneak peek. It's got that in between. It's got that if you want to keep on trying to get through runs and do better and get better loot and whatever it is, this is the game for you.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. The art style is, it's fun, cutesy, and but not like in a, I don't know.
It's a serious cutesy style.
Yes.
Kind of. You get furballs you play as animals. You pick up guns. You have abilities that you can improve upon in both after your run or during.
Yeah.
You stack up other abilities and stuff as you get going through it. There's a lot to it that makes it really intriguing. I think they did a good job. But like I said, for me, this is why I will still probably play it every once in a while. I just will never get really far in it because it's just not my type of game to really put hundreds of hours into it.
Yeah, I agree
like
with that.
Borderlands or Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
The next game on our list is not one that we've put hundreds of hours in, but we've beaten, I think, twice now.
Potentially?
I think, yeah. I think potentially we've beaten it almost twice, if not twice. Castle Crashers.
Yes.
This is a fun one. This is one that's classic. It's cartoony for sure.
Yeah. This is a rare occurrence where I introduced you to a game.
To be fair, I don't know. There's nothing I can say. So yes, Castle Crashers is one that Suzie introduced to me. She bragged about it, how her and 3 other guys would play it. This is back when she was dating 3 guys at once.
Yeah.
And they were playing Castle Crashers. So like, well, not to be outbeat, I have to play it with you now and beat the game. No. Jealousy aside of that, whatever that was going on, you bragged about it a lot while we were playing Castle Crashers. How much better their axes were, and they were able to no.
I have no memory of this.
No, you wouldn't, because I made it up. So, but you did play it with your friends, and that's where you got it from, and that you really got your taste for it, and then let's pick this up, let's play this. I think we had a like Xbox 360 or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We beat it, and we loved it. Yeah. Like the deer pooping itself off the screen essentially. And the potty humor, which especially when you're 20 somethings, it's fun.
It has a if you remember like Happy Tree Friends, it has a very like Happy Tree Friends-esque feel while also being, I don't know, what would you call it, a side scroller kind of?
Yeah, it's a side scroller. It's a side scroller.
Your knights saving the princesses that have been, captured, and you have to go through various different lands and whatnot.
It's very whimsical, very comedic. Like it's meant to be a comedy slasher side scroller kind of thing.
Each knight has a different magical ability, and
I will have to admit, there's a couple of systems in that just suck. They're mad. The magic, I do not like the magic.
Great.
I want to see the magic improved on a Castle Crashers 2, but
that game came out so long ago. I would be very shocked if there was a Castle Crashers 2.
I think they're okay. Don't take the take this with a grain of salt. I think there is a Castle Crashers 2 coming out. I know they've made other games since, and they're still a studio. We will see though.
Yeah.
As I'd love it. This is one that once our son gets a little older, because it is a hard game.
It is.
I would love to play with him. Like we're a family of 4. Loki is excluded. He can be that 5th person on the pentagram. But it would be really fun.
Yeah. I could see our oldest son enjoying it once he gets a little older.
Yeah. Honestly, it would be really fun to play that with. Honestly, all 4, all 4 of us. Families that crash castles together, stay together, and rescue princesses together. We can teach them about respecting a princess in that, and animals, as it poops itself because it got scared.
Yeah.
It has a giant cat boss, which is probably the hardest boss in that, potentially.
The one with like the catfish on the boat where you have to like
with
jump
the fur
up.
balls and stuff.
Yes, that one's hard.
Yeah,
like that took us a while to.
It did. It has references to other games they've made. It's a fun game. I could sit here and talk about it much longer. And I mean, okay, let's give our final things, and we'll get to the final thing on our thing.
Yeah,
a lot of things going on with the thingies. With the list though, there's one more that we're gonna get to. Castle Crashers. When you're going to go shopping, or after you've achieved weapons and you swap weapons and everything, you unlock them and you go to a toad's mouth. Yeah, it's a TARDIS toad.
It is a TARDIS toad because, like, basically, they've strapped this toad down and his mouth's like pried open, and you walk in on his tongue, and then you're in its innards, and the weapons are tied up on its ribs. Like I said, it's a little morbid, but
yeah, but it's fun morbid. The
you also
frog
get little
enjoys
animal companions, that give you extra abilities.
They're so adorable. I love it so much. Yeah, no, if you like adorable, sometimes morbid things, you're gonna love this game. And that frog is just funny. You get in, it's like big long wall that you can go and grab the weapons that you've had previously and wreck people with it.
Yes,
fun. Now, speaking of wrecking people, you wreck yourself in this next game. Phasmophobia.
Yes.
Phasmophobia also plays pretty good. I don't know if it's verified yet because there's a couple of UI issues. Phasmophobia is pretty fun on the deck. It's because you can go take it out in the forest. You can go play it on that Pentagram. Perfect game for the Pentagram.
There you go. See?
That's why it's coming full circle. You start to summon your ghost, and then you play Phasmophobia. The ghost will pick up the 5th controller, think it's playing with you, possess your friend, maybe if your friend's there with the 5th Steam Deck, and you have yourself a good old time playing with ghosts on Phasmophobia.
His Steam Deck fan fiction will be released next year.
It will be on the brink of the forest of death with the Pentagram. I don't know. I can keep on with the title. And so, Phasmophobia. I've played a lot more of this game than you have.
Yes.
It doesn't scare me nearly as much as some like Devour or Demonologist. Recently, that one freaked me out. It's still fun. You've only played it a few times though.
Yeah.
And will you commit to me in front of this podcast to play it with me in the forest?
I choose life.
Okay, I will edit this to have her, because I have an AI system. I'll have her say yes.
Joy.
No. I think it would be fun to kind of figure it out. Something. Maybe we'll do a challenge.
Maybe.
If we get 1,000 likes on this video, will you do it?
My goodness.
It's not going to happen anytime soon.
It's not going to happen. So
whoa. Hold up. I can pay for some likes.
Oh my gosh.
No. So, Phasmophobia. Do you remember what it is? Or should I explain it all over again?
No, I know what it is. Like, you go to a location, one of you stays in like the bunker tent monitoring the stuff, and then the other ones go out and
it's not a bunker tent, but okay, it's like
whatever.
A van. It's like a van.
Okay, the bunker van, whatever it is.
The bunker van. Okay, continue.
And then the other people go out and they're like, piss off, ghost. Hey, ghost, go F off. Because they want the ghost to manifest. And then they like...
That's literally my play session. I go in there. If you all ghosts, to start flipping them off. If I was in VR, I'd be like, okay, guys, hey, ghosts, come kill me. And then a bunch of other SMD.
And then is the point of the game to like excise the ghost or whatever, or is it just to figure out what type of entity it is?
You've not had a pure playthrough. Unfortunately, you played with me, and I'm antagonistic. At least not every time. In this time, I was. Sometimes I was with you, probably.
Yeah.
So the point of it is to get it to manifest, and then get it reading, so you can read like if there's cold going on, like if it's colder in the room to a certain temperature, and mark off these things in your journal that indicate whether or not what type of ghost it is.
Right.
So you can have shades, you can have oni, you can have a bunch of different lores out there of the world. And so it's fun to try to figure it out.
Right.
They have a Ouija board. If you play with the Ouija board, you're most likely going to die. And now, if the ghost or whatever entity is hunting the house gets too upset, or some of them won't necessarily kill you, they'll just really hurt you in the sense like in a mental state.
Okay.
But
so they like hurt your sanity.
Yeah, you have a sanity meter in it. If your sanity drops to 0, most ghosts will take you out eventually, like pretty soon. But
Gotcha.
there'll be events, and if you can hide from it and survive, then you get extra points oftentimes. But if you don't, you die. You get these things that wrap around your face and take you down into their lair or underworld or whatever. And then while all your friends are having fun, shouting obscenities at the ghost, you get to just sit there and wander around and play around with stuff and kind of freak them out a little bit yourself. You're like, here, look at this. Here's a little mug. And people are like, what's that? I've freaked people out enough. It was fun. So it's not fun being dead, though, because it can get boring after a little while, especially with some plays I've played through where, like, if you're playing the school or some of the really big maps, it can take forever to figure out the ghosts, because usually they are in one or two areas of the place. And so once you find the area, like in the school, it's just, you have to have 4 people for sure with those bigger ones. But yeah, no, it's fun. And I know you're a little bit of a scaredy cat.
A little bit.
Which makes it kind of fun. Our friend Shag is also a scaredy cat. I think there for a while he would just stay in the van. in the van. There's an old Games Revealed podcast on this where we talk about the Phasmophobia, and it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Just the amount of shenanigans that can go down there. It's freaking each other out on accident, or just surviving ghost hunts. It's a fun game that I really like. While I hope they upgrade it and improve it, I really want to see this series, this type of game, improve. It's a game that's a little harder to play, though, like for us co-op. It's one I've usually played with friends, because I know that you like, I know this type of stuff freaks you out, and it's still fun, though.
Right.
But you want to play more of it, right?
Potentially.
Why is it on this list then? Isn't this our favorite? No, this is game.
I mean, it kind of turned into, well, I mean, Gunfire Reborn was on there, but you know,
these are games that we've played together that are up to 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else on here is more than 4. Phasmophobia, I believe, is 4. And so I think you liked it enough, but yeah, it's
definitely,
scary.
if you're a fan of like horror, paranormal type stuff, you're gonna enjoy it. Honestly, it's, hey, look, I get to be, what I get to do, like they do on the Discovery Channel, go hunt ghosts.
Oh, that's what they do on the Discovery Channel. That's right. Back in the good old day, we had good, wholesome animal stuff, and now it's just ghosts. And honestly, that would be more fun than some of the stuff they have on there. But
yeah, it's like when the History Channel.
That's History Channel. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Used to have history on it, and now it's not just ice road truckers.
Truckers that are going to be history because it's so dangerous. So, yeah, Phasmophobia. I think we'll play some more of it. Especially as Halloween comes around, we'll have some fun there. I think it would be fun to do some challenges between me and you on it. So we'll see. We'll get back to you with some other later podcasts potentially on that. But we are done. Everything else, it's going to be bonus round time. We are finishing up this because it's going to get late. And if we don't do this, wrap this up too soon, we're going to be staying up all night. So
party up in here.
If you want to watch the rest of this episode, well, it's not really the rest, but you want to watch the bonus round, the bonus level, where we're going to rank it and talk about favorites and choose their favorite child that we've each one of these could be like one of our children. We've put so much time into them. We got to rank them now. And so you get to see us rank and rate our children. Hopefully there's no surprises. No surprise.
Sorry, little Timmy. You're a 2.
Sorry, you're going to have to go down in the well again.
No,
you just don't make the list.
No.
You're just not worth it anymore. Peace out. You can go become a ghost and haunt us in Phasmophobia. With that, being said, anything you want to say?
No, I think it's fun, like when you find people and you find like your game to play with people. I mean, that's not always going to be like the same game all the time, but you know, it's fun when you find a really good group or a person and you can play a game together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something that's underrated a lot of times. I think in broader society is how much fun it is to get together and actually play something together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's definitely fun. It's this is what makes it so hard when we do games revealed like events.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play these types of co-op games. So
yeah.
With that being said, let's go play some games of our own over in the bonus level. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for stopping by. You guys are awesome. Make sure to support us with memberships or with Patreon. Both of those are great ways to support us and help us get other guests on, whatever it is. It helps no matter what. And with that, stay classy. Go out there and find that pentagram and find 4 more buddies to play a game on. Because, well, I mean, honestly, 3 more buddies. So find yourself 3 more friends, a makeshift pentagram, the Pentagon.
Gonna go do some military ops.
And have some fun with some friends. Sometimes you got to make them. Sometimes it's online. Sometimes it's in person in a forest. So thank you guys for stopping by. And once again, stay classy, I guess. San Diego.
Yes.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Congrats. Secret level unlocked. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter to curb that craving for more. If you like this episode, then make sure to leave a like, rating, follow, or whatever the platform has. Also, make sure to check out our merch at shop.gamesrevealed.com or shopundead.com. Peace.